Israel-Gaza Iran War News Live Update. Negative intent, not election concerns, in Biden's Israelophobia. Many ask, what explains President Joe Biden's anti-Israel acts since October 7? Why is Biden delaying armaments and ammunition shipments to Israel in a fight to protect Israel's survival and withholding intelligence about Hamas commanders and tunnels? Why is he allowing anti-Israel UN Security Council resolutions? Why is he unjustly accusing Israel of indiscriminate bombing, condemning innocent Israeli people, and endangering moral Israeli soldiers? Why is Biden having his aide Blinken proclaim Israel is becoming indistinguishable from Hamas, and facilitating Iran receiving $26 billion and enriching Iran with tens of billions of dollars of sanctions waivers, when Iran funds and arms its proxies attacking Israel and launches 350 deadly missiles at Israel? Why is Biden urging Israel to give pro-Hamas Palestinians a terrorist dictatorship? Why did Biden's Secretary of State tell Israel to get out of Gaza? And don't retaliate when Hamas perpetrated a massacre and is currently holding innocent American and Israeli hostages, and eliminating Hamas terrorist dictatorship is vital to Israel's survival? Analysts usually say Biden worries about Arab voters in Michigan and other battleground states. That response is erroneous. Since his presidency began, Biden has been anti-Israel. Biden may lose more Jewish and pro-Israel votes than anti-Israel votes, as 80% of Americans back Israel over Hamas. I believe Biden's persistent and nefarious animosity to Israel is the real basis for his anti-Israel policies. In 1982, then-Senator Biden infamously warned then-Israeli Prime Minister Menachem begin to withhold U.S. aid if Jews lived in lawful Judea-Samaria towns. I met with Senator Biden and his staff several times over 30 years. They always hated Israel. Formerly anti-Israel if Biden was pro-Israel, President Barack Obama, who listened to Reverend Wright preach anti-Israel venom for 2 decades and was close friends with Louis Farrakhan, would never have chosen him as his running mate. Biden criticized Israel for building homes for Jews in Jerusalem, boycotted Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's 2015 speech to Congress, and promoted the dangerous Iran deal. Biden opposed Trump's move of the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem without conditions and important concessions to a Palestinian terror state. It was long before he considered the 2024 election. Employees or policy. Biden's selections for most significant Israel positions are anti-Israel. Biden's special representative for Palestinian/Israel affairs Hadi Amr said he was inspired by the Intifada, when Arab terrorists killed or injured 10,000 Jews. Legislative Affairs Deputy Director Rima Dodan promoted anti-Israel marches, suicide bombings, and blood libels. National Security Council member, Deputy Assistant to the President, and Intelligence and Defense Policy Coordinator Mar Baitar organized Georgetown University's Palestine Solidarity Movement Anti-Israel Boycott Conference, led a session on demonizing Israel, and worked for Sabeel, SJP, Battle, FMEP, and UNRWA. In coordination with White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, Democratic presidential contenders boycotted AIPAC. Director of National Intelligence Avril Haines falsely accused Israel of violence, terrorism, and incitement in a letter. For years, Biden's special envoy for Iran Robert Malley has defended Hamas and supported a nuclear Iran. Biden quickly lifted Iran sanctions and restarted funding UNRWA and the Palestinian Authority, which the previous administration cut due to their anti-Israel stance. The House Financial Services Subcommittee on National Security, Illicit Finance, and International Financial Institutions reported that Trump's maximum sanctions policy cut Iran's oil revenues from $100 billion to $8 billion and its foreign reserves from $122 billion to $4 billion, near bankruptcy. However, Biden's slack enforcement raised Iran's yearly oil income to $40 billion in 2021, benefiting Iran by almost $80 billion, and increased its foreign reserves to $49 billion. Without this massive give, Iran and Hamas are unlikely to have carried out October 7. While Hamas launched 4,500 rockets at Israel for 10 days in May 2021, Biden pressed Israel to negotiate to a premature ceasefire before Israel could demolish its terror tunnels and rocket stockpile. Israel may have finished in 2021, preventing October 7. Biden pressured Israel to grant thousands of Gazans work licenses in 2021 to 2022. Gazans mapped Israeli communities and kindergartens with the permissions, facilitating Hamas onslaught. In October 2022, Biden pressured Israel to give up 330 square miles of maritime territory, including gas fields, to Hezbollah-controlled Lebanon, enriching Iranian terror proxy Hezbollah with billions of dollars that helped it launch recent rocket attacks that drove 80,000 northern Israelis from their homes. From the start, the Biden administration pressured Israel to establish a pathway to a Palestinian Arab terror state, reopen Obama's Palestinian consulate in Jerusalem, condemn Judea/Samaria Jewish communities, and fail to act against the Palestinian Authority's pay-to-slay payments to terrorists to murder Jews. All such anti-Israel policies occurred before Dearborn Arabs abandoned Biden movement. Biden hates Israel for reasons other than elections and Michigan. Unfortunately, the evidence show that Biden has long had evil intentions regarding Israel.